The Great Critter Capper is the 11th episode of the 7th season of Minnie's Bow-Toons, or the 11th episode of the 2nd season of Party Pals Pals. And we're actually very far away from both the boutique and the Party Pals at this stage because Minnie, Daisy, and Cuckoo Loca have decided to go for a hike and a picnic outdoors. And of course, that gives us some beautiful animation with kind of luscious green grasses and bright blue skies, and everything is visually very appealing. And the walk starts off very pleasant. But Daisy has a bag of granola bites and they're in her backpack, and this raccoon catches the smell of the granola bites and it decides to go along for the journey. Will this raccoon get the granola bites, or will they be able to have their picnic in peace? I'm not going to say what happens, but I think the narrative unfolded pretty quickly. It started off nicely and calmly before it introduced us to just how chaotic it was going to become. The raccoon is it's got quite an interesting design, actually. I'm pretty confident it's a raccoon, but it doesn't look like what I would have imagined, if that makes sense. If you've seen it, maybe you'll know what I mean. But I thought it worked pretty well. It's not my favourite. I always prefer the ones that are actually, well, usually prefer the ones that are actually based at the boutique or at the Party Palace, at their apartment. But I don't mind the ones that are outdoorsy because it gives us some cute animals, some interesting nature. And I thought Cuckoo Loca was as adorable as always. I'm quite a fan of Cuckoo Loca. Minnie and Daisy, of course, were on top form. Definitely not a personal favourite. There's nothing about this that stood out to me as being particularly amazing, although I was fascinated with how they did the smell. They represented the smell of the granola bites in animation form, and it was quite interesting. It worked very well. To begin with, it was a little bit jarring, but once I got used to it, I thought it was actually kind of a nice way of doing it, and it worked very effectively. So that aspect of it, I think, is worthy of praise. The Great Critter Capper, I keep trying to put an R in that word, critter capper, I definitely shouldn't, is not my favourite, but it's certainly not a bad episode, and one that's still worth watching.